Well, never underestimate the psychotic stalking capacity of a psychotic stalker. Wow, that piece of shit is severely disturbed. So, the next generation of weaponry is not guns and knives. I would hope that anyone with half a brain cell could figure that one out. Guns and knives have been around for tens of thousands of years. Well, not guns, but certainly knives. Ever since the first caveman figured out how to sharpen a rock, knives have been around, and guns have been around since the late 1580s, I believe. So people who don't think that directed energy weapons are actually being used pretty commonly these days, and that anybody with a little bit of engineering and technological know-how can make their own, is stupid and should maybe just go jump off a cliff because they're that stupid. They don't think that directed energy devices are being used, or that they exist, or that they're commonly available, which they are. Just Google it, morons. So while I'm standing here in this lovely spot after having had a very productive day and a nice evening chatting with those nearest and dearest to me, I'm getting literally blasted by a directed energy device. Jasmine Irizarry is a psycho scum piece of BLM hate stalking filth who is being sponsored by my landlord, the Greenville Group, in the building where I have been residing since 2011, and Irizarry was placed in the unit directly next to mine by Oleg Eliseyev in 2013. And since then, Mr. Eliseyev has praised Irizarry's criminal abilities on multiple occasions in personal conversations I've had with him about her nonstop psychotic hate stalking behavior and how she picks the locks to my door and lets herself into my apartment when I'm standing there watching the door opening, how she's been contaminating my food and vandalizing my clothing and cosmetics for 10 years now, since 2013, when I would come home from work and find my nice things ripped and vandalized and smeared with foul-smelling shit, and my makeup was, broken, and the lipsticks were like, the contents of the lipstick were broken and pulled out and stuff like that. Irizarry is mentally disturbed. She used to plant herself in the stairwells and hallways of my building when I would be coming home from work or leaving from work, leaving to go to work. And she's still in that building, according to management, as of a few days ago. Whenever I call and complain about her, they say, we'll mention it to the owners. So she's either a close personal friend of the owners, or they're somehow sponsoring her tenancy, which the police actually have confirmed, and also said that she is part of a, as the police put it, race-based activist group, meaning they're basically a bunch of BLM hate stalking filth, criminal trash that are sex offenders, because the Greenville Group rents mostly to DPH and DMH inmates who have sex offenses and extensive criminal records. That's a fact. Agents of the Housing Court have informed me that the Greenville Group work closely with agencies such as DPH and DMH who specialize and focus on placing criminally insane sex offenders in housing, because many places do not want criminally insane sex offenders living on their property. The Greenville Group seems to welcome criminally insane sex offenders with open arms, and there are large numbers of them in all of the buildings that the Greenville Group owns at the corner of Union Ave and Green Street. One of those mentally disturbed, criminally insane, autism spectrum sex offenders is also a psychopath who Oleg Eliseyev claims is a talented cyber criminal named Jasmine Irizarry. Irizarry is a piece of shit. She's also hideously ugly. Not that that really matters. People aren't really responsible for their looks, but she is ugly inside and out. She is as ugly outside as she is on the inside. And on the inside, she's a psychotic, obsessive sex offender and stalker who can't leave other women alone because she has issues with women. She's jealous, mentally disturbed, and basically tries to eliminate the competition, right? So if you're a female, she's going to try to do whatever she can to destroy you in whatever way she can. I've been informed by several staffers at the Greenville Group, including Felicita at the front desk and Davis, that Irizarry targets people and has a problem with women. So there you go. She's been using a directed energy device on me for years, and because she's a very talented hacker, also seems to have a knack for using GPS tracking devices, such as Apple AirTags, on other females who she then doxes in terms of their location, and then has a bunch of her BLM hate stalking fellow filth harass these women when they're out and about. I would be one of them. I really don't know how many other women she's doing this to, but I know she's doing it to at least one of my close friends, because at least one of my close friends is experiencing a lot of the same psychotic stalking and harassment wherever she goes that I've been experiencing. Irizarry also likes to get into my apartment when I'm out for the day and contaminate my food and my cosmetics, my clothing, and she has bragged on social media that she is contaminating the water to my tap and to my shower. As I've been reporting for years now, Irizarry claims to be a structural engineer who puts boogers in my water. There you go. So right now I'm standing here in this lovely spot after having had a fantastic day, very productive, got up early, made it to work on time, had a nice evening chatting with the people that I love the most and that are closest to me. And I have a set of friends and family that I'm not really interested in adding to unless they have a lot in common with me and my family, which none of these asswipes do. None of these hate stalking rejects has anything to do with me, my friends, or my family, or anything that we are interested in. So they'll never have anything to do with us, but they keep trying anyway because they're just a bunch of psychotic, mentally disturbed rejects who need to leave people alone, but they can't stay in their own lane. And that's why they live in the Greenville Group's building complex, because that's literally filled with people who cannot stay in their own lane. So right now I'm getting literally assaulted by Irizarry's directed energy device, which means that she's somewhere in this area. And that's why I start recording, because you never know what's going to happen next. When Irizarry is somewhere close by, she likes to let you know by electronically assaulting you with her directed energy device to let you know that she's right there. Stalkers used to have a much harder time stalking people back in the 70s and 80s when you physically had to like follow people down the sidewalk, right, and walk behind them and not lose sight of them. Now all you do is stick an Apple AirTag on their keys or on their handbag or on their shoes, and you can figure out at any moment exactly where they are, and either you can approach them or send your psychotic, hate stalking, perving, creeping BLM filth friends to harass them. That's what I've been experiencing. So I have to turn this camera on because you just never know what BLM bullshit is going to be happening next when Irizarry, the psycho scum, obsessive hate stalker, starts using her directed energy device on you when you're in a location where none of this shit should be happening and you've been out for like 12 hours. Yeah, at this point, it's been like 13 hours since I left the building. So these people are so mentally disturbed and have such wasted, miserable, empty lives that that's all they do is follow people around using some type of Apple AirTag and then just go to town on them. So it is shortly after midnight on what is now Sunday, September 22nd. It's actually pretty chilly out, raining, like raining pretty hard. And it's 57 degrees, according to the weather report, just before I left the lovely establishment where I spent my evening chatting with my closest and dearest loved ones. So there really shouldn't be that many people out and about.